Recorded Books presents Dirty South, a Nick Travers novel by Ace Atkins. Narrated by Dion Graham. Prologue. I sped along Highway 61, darting from one small town in the Mississippi Delta to the next, with nothing but my old Army duffel bag and CDs of blues singers I spent my life researching. 2 weeks on the road from New Orleans and still nothing to show for it. I drove back to Clarksdale on a spring afternoon where heat broke in gassy waves from the pavement to find my old buddy JoJo. He was waiting for me when I arrived, a sack lunch filled with cold fried chicken sandwiches and potato salad. Loretta waved to us from the porch of their old farmhouse. Large and brown, she squinted into the white-hot sun, knowing I had to get back to New Orleans by Friday and that only JoJo could help me. "This man doesn't like white people," JoJo said, unwrapping our sandwiches and rolling down the side window to my 1970 Bronco. He was a black man in his late 60s, white hair, short mustache, wisdom around the eyes. "No, sir." "You think bringing along a black man will help?" "Yes, sir." "You think 'cause he know me from the day might help, too?" "Yes, sir." "He's 80 years old," JoJo said. "He may think I'm Jesus or Harvey the goddamn rabbit." "There is a possibility of that," I said. Hot breeze. Blackbirds cawed and screamed at stop signs at crossroads hanging in the pine and oak. Mimosa trees surrounded barns faded to a dull red, and trailers lay on piles of concrete blocks. Gas stations out of the 1930s turned to quickie marts with long humming coolers filled with frozen candy bars and Cokes, soft white bread, stale peanuts. "He was a good guitar player," JoJo said. "Sonny Boy liked him. Sonny Boy said he made him sound real fine." "How long has he been in Mark's?" "Bronco says he heard he'd been in Mark's since 72. "What's he do?" "Carve the faces of dead people." We rolled along Highway 6, talking about old times at the bar JoJo used to own in New Orleans. It was a beautiful little place before it burned. A little cove on Conti Street with brick walls and a long mahogany bar dented and scarred from elbows and cold Dixie bottles. Loretta sang there every Friday and Saturday. During the week, she cooked. She made soul jambalaya and a mean batch of gumbo. JoJo and Loretta took care of me then. They were still my family. We passed over a small metal bridge running over a creek and by a junkyard filled with hundreds of rusting cars. The creek had flooded into the ditch where the cars sat in stagnant water, reaching over their hoods and suffocating them in the green muck. We talked about Robert Johnson and Lee Marvin, Bessie Smith and Earl Long. JoJo told me about his corn crop coming up and a new John Deere tractor he bought and how he did not miss the bar he'd run for as long as I'd been alive. "It's still there." "Fuck it," he said. We rolled into Mark's at sundown. A broken-down collection of gas stations and abandoned buildings stood around an old church and a graveyard. I had to slow down to miss a couple of wandering dogs, skinny and coated in mange. I put on some Robert Johnson and told JoJo about Johnson coming to a juke joint in Mark's in the 30s. He played guitar for Son House and Willie Brown with his new skills he'd acquired from a man named Ike Zinnerman in Hazelhurst. Son House said Johnson had sold his soul to the devil to get those skills. We found an old black man on his porch, eating purple-hulled peas and cornbread and listening to ZZ Hill. JoJo got out of the truck with me, and we asked him about where we could find a man who called himself Tip Top. JoJo said his real name was Bob and that he liked to carve dead people. The man pointed down the hill where some dogs gathered to eat a rooster that had been killed. At the end of the road, the sun was a dropping orange orb.
To keep listening to this audiobook, I've left you a link in the description so you can do it at no cost thanks to Audible's 30-day free trial.